Just getting set up. We'll get started in a minute. Can everyone hear me okay too? Hopefully. I got my camera working finally, so we're good for once. Okay, so it's 7:30. We're gonna get rolling on this. People can jump in whenever. We're gonna go over just a couple things. We don't have a lot to go over just because we're getting closer to the end. So we're gonna start talking about the race in the upcoming meetings after this week. But we're just gonna talk about a couple things for training. You can see the orange blocks that I've had here for our marathon and half marathon plans that I showed you the last time we met were designed to show you these would be the big weeks. Okay, kind of the meat of the training plan. Half marathon's a week longer because you guys still stay up a little bit longer than the fulls because they're just piling on so much mileage. We have to kind of ease them down a week earlier than the half marathon. You can kind of get away with keeping the training up a little bit more. So that's why the half has an extra week in there. We have 5 highlighted for you next week after the week after next too. But for the marathon plan, you can see next week's the big last week. And it is a pretty big week. We have a pretty big track workout that takes you off the track and on the roads. So those are kind of my favorite track workouts is when I used to, do something on the track, then go out and do something on the road, and come back and then do something on the track again. Kind of broke it up a little bit for me and made it a little less tedious if I'm instead of like 24 400s or something. This is a little bit more, breaks that up a little bit for you. And then we have another big tempo. 2 more big tempos for marathoners and halves, but one is going to be on as the next week as we slow down a little the mileage. But next week, still have a big tempo run 2 through 10, 90 minutes. And then the Dave Spring run, that's the event we're having. But if you're not going to be in attendance, that's the big run of like 20 miles. Okay. So if you're in town or even in the area, you can come out to the spring run, sign up for free. I put the link in the emails, but if you're not sure, no, that's the registration. There we go. So this is what it looks like if you get onto it. You can sign up for free, as you see here, $0. Or if you want the food after, and then there's a water bottle that comes with it, this Hydro Pack water bottle. And we're going to have Pizza Cat and Starbucks and all kinds of other food there for people after they run. That's up to you. You don't want it, you don't care, you just want to come out for the run. You can still sign up for free. We just want to know the numbers because we're going to have people, our coaches that coach the MIT, are going to also be pacing certain ranges for people that want to run. They can find a pace range to run and then just jump in with that group. And then you have a bunch of people who are going to run the same as you. So that's free. That's for anybody. You can bring a friend. You can bring someone else who's training for a marathon, family, whatever. We're going to do 11.5-mile course and then drop the half marathoners off and then go back out for an 8.5-mile course. And it's going to be on parts of the Glass City course if you're running that. So that's just an option out there if you don't want to run 20 miles on your own. If you have no choice, but you're going to be running on your own or you don't live around here, you're going to be too far away to travel in, then yeah, just make sure we get this run in. This is the last big mileage run for marathons, okay? Talking to Duke just recently, one of our remote trainers, and one good point he brought up and I was going to bring up is I see a lot of you are on treadmills still. It's a good idea to start getting out and getting your legs used to the pavement, to running on ground. There is a big difference between running on a treadmill belt that moves with your body than running on hard packed cement blacktops when the ground's not moving anymore. It's going to take a little more energy, a little more work, so the pace might not be as quick as you've been doing on a treadmill. So my advice is to start getting on the road some, especially for that long run. You don't want to be exclusively on a treadmill for your long runs, and then come marathon day, your legs are going to have a little shell shock to them, and they have to go out and cover 13.1 or 26.2 miles. So ease yourself into it. If you're a little nervous, get out there a couple times this week on the road, but definitely try getting this next long run if you haven't been doing them on the road. It's going to make a big difference. Okay. So that's number one I want to stress with you there. Number two, if you're going to have a problem getting the long run in on the weekend, I prefer you miss a workout during the week, do the long run during the week. This is now the most important run we have is our long run, is to keep people with that base mileage, keep people on their legs for a good amount of time. So, my advice is to make sure we get that long run in. We've had, if you look at the marathon plan, we've had 18, we're going to have 20. And those are what I consider the big long runs. Same with the half marathon. If you go over here, we have 10, 10, 11, 11. And those are big long runs for a half marathon. So those are the ones you want to get more. You can't get every one of them, I get it. Life gets in the way, but you get 2 out of the 3 or 3 out of the 4, that's what we're looking for. And this weekend, since this is going to be, especially for marathon, this is going to be the last one you get, don't want you missing it. Even if you maybe only get 18 in, can't get all 20 in, get 18 in, but make sure that long run gets done, even if you have to sacrifice a workout to get the long run in. Let's do that. Because we're going to do more workouts next week. We're going to do the longest tempo run, not next week, but the week after for everybody. So even if you miss this week's tempo for the long run, you'll still get in a quality tempo the following week. So let's focus on that for the upcoming week. Make sure that long run gets completed. And along with that, our open pace, same concept. Your long run is just as important as a marathon long run because your goal is to get through the 13.1 miles, to run the distance. So these are obviously the most important workout for you are the long runs. So definitely, if you got to sacrifice another day in there to get the long run in, do it. Okay. And you guys have a lot more rest days, a few more rest days to manipulate than the other group. So you can actually work it into your schedule a little bit easier for those that are doing the open pace. Okay, low mileage plan. That will definitely, you should be able to work it in. But make sure you get that because you are supposed to do 11 miles this week also. Everyone's doing 11 and a half, whether you're on the open pace or whether you're in the regular half marathon plan. So everyone's doing 11. Come out to the spring run, I'll even give you an extra half mile. It's 11 and a half. So you get more bang for your buck there. All right. So that's the most important thing. Make sure we cover the long run, get all that stuff taken care of. Because once we get through this week coming up, we're going to start really honing in on the race itself. Start pushing our efforts to prepare for the race. Start treating our body like we're getting ready for the race. Start taking down the mileage a little bit. Start getting, the right kind of nutrients we need. Start looking at the plan we're going to put in place for hydration during it. That was another thing Duke was talking to me about is, what am I going to do with water stops? And that's a good point because remember, we're going to keep reminding you guys, there's not going to be nutrition on the course, but they did just get approved to have a gel stop at mile 16 and a gel stop at mile 18. So there will be gel stops at 16 and 18 now for the marathon. For the half, no. So if you need something for the half, make sure you have it with you. Make sure you have someone on the course because that's what I told a lot of people is, if you're local to the area or if you at least are bringing some people with you, find some parts on the course where they can meet you maybe on the course and hand you a water bottle or not a water bottle, but hand you a bottle of like fluid with carbs and nutrients in it like Gatorade, Tailwind, whatever supplement you want, or hand you a honey stinger, hand you those jelly beans or whatever you use to refuel that sits well in your stomach. So, that you can do. You can get someone out there to help you out with that. Or if you want, you can carry it with you. I know people carry the water belts, the hydro packs, all that stuff. So whatever you do, it's going to work for you. And that's what we've been working on these last few weeks is trying to get that in place. What is going to be my nutrition plan and refueling plan throughout the race? And you don't want to be trying to figure that out race week, okay? We want to be using these long runs and then these next couple weeks coming up, these next few weeks coming up, we want to be fine tuning that. Maybe putting it out there for the tempo run so you know how that stuff is going to affect you when you're going at marathon pace or half pace. So, maybe you try out, your honey stingers on these tempo runs coming up the next 2 weeks, the big tempo runs. So then you can see how it sits in you while you're running pretty hard, not just an easy run. So that's a definite thing to take into consideration. Because I know some things, when I'm out for a long run, I can pretty much take in anything, a goop, jelly beans, even some a bit of a banana and that. But when I'm racing, I can't take anything solid. It has to be all liquid. I've tried it before. I've tried honey stingers. I've tried goo. I throw it up. So that's my advice. There's a difference between when you're doing a long run and when you're out there pushing a tempo run. So you might want to try some of the same things you use. You might want to try that maybe before you start your tempo, because you'll be able to tell if it's going to sit well or not when you're running that hard. It'll give you an idea. Okay, and these are the weeks we want to do that on, because we want to have all that hammered out come April 25th, so we're all ready to go. Okay, and as you can see, we get into that taper. The halves is going to be, as I have it up here, open pace. Really don't taper a whole lot except for the long run and a little bit here and there. We really don't taper you guys until the last week, just because you aren't doing, I don't want to say you're not doing enough to not taper. It's you don't want to back off too much, because the training you've been doing doesn't allow us to take you down too much, or else you will start losing fitness quickly. So we have to kind of be very, very, how I should say, judicial where we cut things away from you. So that's why you don't see a whole lot being cut away on your weeks until the last week and a half or so. Okay, half, we get you guys. You see, you really don't even taper until that last 2 weeks too. You only drop 5 miles from next week to week 14, and another 5 miles after that. It's a gradual taper, but you're going to notice it in your long run, and you're going to notice it in the workouts more. The marathon is where the taper really comes into play, just because of the volume of mileage that a lot of you have been doing. So if we look at that, you see, you're up to 50 miles here. So 45, 50 miles, that's why you go 5, but then you drop another 10 after that. We don't take you down another 5, we drop you down to 10. But once we get in that 30 range, that's plenty enough to give you enough rest, but to keep your fitness up. In the long run, we'll go from 20 to 14. It won't stay at 18. Okay, like the half, we'll go 11, then another 11. You can't be doing 18s. You can't pile 18s and 20s on too close to the marathon. It's just going to add too much fatigue to your legs. And we don't want that for the marathon. You're going to be fit enough. We're not worried about that. You'll be able to hold that long run strength. So that's why we're going to 14, and then we drop to 12. It'll feel like a big difference, believe me, when you're out there. 14 may seem long to you, but when you're doing 18, then you do 20, 14 is going to be like a breath of fresh air. Man, that's nothing. And a month ago, 2 months ago, it might have been your longest run ever. So it'll feel good. Don't worry. But we're still going to do but that week will be the longest tempo that we do. That's where the focus will lie in week 14 for the marathon and half. Is the tempo will be the longest one of the program, and that's the one we'll hone in on. Okay. But other than that, then you can see we add in another rest day, week 15, and drop you down to 35 miles. And then actually you go up marathon week. That's because on Sunday you'll run 26 miles. So you'll run over half your miles in one day for the week on that week. So don't let the 45 miles scare you off there. That's just 26 miles of it is the marathon. So don't worry about it. Now, good question. For the run on Saturday, this big spring run we're doing, we have all the paces listed on there. If you look, if you're thinking about it, here's the paces that I have lined up. You might have to tweak it a little the day of, depending on who shows up. But these will be the pace they run. This is not your goal pace here. So whatever pace you've been running on the weekend, you want to find somewhere in that neighborhood. From 7:45, we got all the way up to a walk-run combo. We have several coaches that'll be doing 3 on 1 walk, 1 on 1 walk. They're just out there monitoring people, and you can do your own run walk. And we have 12 plus coaches. There'll be coaches going 12 minutes, one going 13, another one going in between there. So we have coaches everywhere, and then you can see all the other pace groups in there. They'll be in that range. The 10-15 coach, is he going to run 10-15 every mile? Probably not. But he will stay in that area, and then the other coach, his partner coach, will be behind him right around the 10-30 range. So they'll all be in those ranges, and it will depend a little bit on the pace group. You know, if we have a bunch of people that all want to run 10:30 and not anyone really running 10:15, probably all run 10:30. It's not set in stone. There is wiggle room in there. We just want to see what we have, but yeah, those would be that's what we plan on doing. Um, so you know, you can pick whatever you want. You just come in. They'll have signs, and you just go by them with their sign, and they just take you out on the run. It's real low key. It's not a race or anything. You get a bib number in that, but that's just so we know who's getting the food and who's not. So that's like your breakfast ticket, food ticket. It has nothing to do with, and it also, the reason why we want numbers is for to tell the Ottawa Hills Police how many people are going to be out on the roads, so they don't freak out when they see a couple hundred people running through the streets of Ottawa Hills on a Saturday morning, because they do freak out sometimes if you've ever run in Ottawa Hills, which Gary will tell you and I will tell you, we've been pulled over many times by Ottawa Hills Police for numerous things, not running single file and all kinds of good stuff. So anyway, we just like to give the Ottawa Hills Police a heads up because they know we're coming and they've said no problem, just let us know. So we like to give them a number. So that's the only reason why we ask people, if you're just coming out to run, please sign up just so we know how many. It has nothing to do with us, you know, trying to sell you something. We just have to give a number out. All right. So like I said, we want to cover a lot. Just want to make sure we talk about this long run, getting everyone on board with that. Make sure everyone's ready to go. And if you have questions about the long run or what you're doing, um, you know, vaccinations. I know people are getting vaccinated, and I can only answer so much about the actual race and what they're doing, the vaccinations and the testing. Nobody's happy about this, and I completely understand. You know, people getting annoyed with this. It was kind of a bombshell dropped on all of us. But when the title sponsor is Mercy Health, and they get together with the health department and they come up with this, we have to do it. That's part of what the agreement was. Um, I can answer, you know, some of the bigger questions about it, but as far as, are they going to have testing right there when you pick up the race packet for cheap or for free? Still, they haven't come back with anything yet on that. Haven't decided that yet. Um, I do know in this area they're giving the Johnson and Johnson shot next week. So if you haven't signed up, you might be able to squeeze one of those in because that's a one-shot deal. I just got mine, and I know I'm not going to be cleared technically for the race for my second shot. My concern is any of you out there getting your second shot close to the race, I'd be worried. I don't want you getting sick close to the race. My wife just got her first shot with me, and she didn't handle the first shot well, but she had COVID like a year ago, and they said some people don't handle the first shot well when they had COVID. She had a 100-degree temp the day after, and just now getting back to feeling normal today on Sunday, and that was, you know, Thursday shot. So she's getting her shot the 22nd, so now she's paranoid because that's 3 days before the race, and I can understand. So I do understand you guys' nervousness and worry about it. I understand completely. I just can't give you any real detailed answers. I'm not really in that committee or whatever that goes over that, so can't give you a whole lot on that. But if you guys have questions about anything, let's fire them out there. Let's get this going. So who has a question for me? Padma, you have a question?
No, I just wanted to share some information about those home test kits. I know the
Yeah.
libraries are handing them out for free. So if you could just get them and like, 3 days before the race or whatever, you can do it and get your results online. You just have to download an app. It's fairly simple.
Right.
So whoever, whether they get their shots or not, if they could just pick this up from the library, and I think pretty much all of Toledo, Lucas County libraries, public libraries are giving them out.
Yeah, this area, most libraries have them. They're starting to run low on them, but right, you can, and I think you can get up to several of them. I think,
I
and
think
but
they limit to like 5 per family or something like that.
yeah, and then you can use 72 hours within that 72-hour window of the race. You just have to show the verification. Yeah, you
Mm-hmm.
can do that. And I know other people are finding places around them. You just have to look around a little for that, and that has been working for most people. They've been able to pick up a couple kits and just do it on their own when they get into that 72-hour window. You know, but there's always problems with that too. So I just want to make sure everyone has a plan set for themselves, and we can make sure we get everybody to the line, as safely as we can. Because I know it's a hassle right now. Um, I feel for people. I do. But good. That's a good point, Padma. Thanks. And if you guys that are in the area, I'm sure you've heard that the local libraries do have the kits. A lot of them do. So make sure you get yourself a couple there. That definitely helps. Um, Other questions? Anyone else have anything else for me?
Hey, Bob, if we can't make the spring training run, just an easy pace, right? If we're doing
Yes.
11 miles. Okay.
Yes, this is not, yeah, that, I don't want you thinking this is some type of race, some type of hard run. No, this is just, we do this as a way for us to get together for the big long run and to bring in the public who want to run to kind of a outreach, you know, showing us what we're made of. It's kind of an advertisement for our MNT program, to be honest with you. We show everyone our coaches, our people that are out there running, and we bring in other people, you know, the general public, and then they all get to run, you know, with us and see what we're about. And so hopefully it brings them back. But yeah, it's just the long run. No, nothing quick.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you.
Please, nothing quick. Not on a 20 miler. I need you. I need you in 3 weeks after that. 3, 4 weeks after that. Yeah, but good question, Nate. I appreciate that. It's just an event. It's not a race. You got any other questions? No. I know we're getting close to the race. Most of you's doing great. Looking at you guys in training till a lot of you guys are putting in good work, good long runs, you know, good quality runs. That's why most of you are on here too, because you're the ones putting in a lot of work. And I'm seeing big things. So I want to get everyone through this week because this is the big week. We get everyone through this week, staying healthy, staying strong. Then I'm pretty confident we can keep pushing and get to that race, and then we're going to be stronger than ever once we get to the line. Because you guys are doing a lot of good training. So I'm not worried about the training. I just want to get everyone healthy to the line is always my goal. Because that's a lot of work for you guys to not get a benefit out of it. We want to make sure we do that. Okay. Always, like I said, email me anytime. If something doesn't seem right to you, training, you got a question about training, email me. You know, even text me. My number's on the bottom of emails. If you have, just let me know the name or go through training tilt, whatever you want. You know, I'll get back to you within 24 hours or so, especially if it's something important like that. But you know, keep the questions coming, and then never hesitate to ask if there's something wrong. Okay, and don't forget our trainers, the physical therapists. They're here for you guys too. Just because you might not be able to get to see them in person doesn't mean they're not here for you. They're absolutely part of your program too. They're now every Thursday. They will be with us at the track at Perrysburg, but you can access them with your phone, you know, through Facebook Messenger. And I put it in the emails. Their names, Jeff Swartz and Dana Pirowitz. They have their phones available, you know, 6 to 8 on the Facebook app or Facebook Messenger. And you can always, if you're having an issue with something, let me know. And even I've had a few people that I've put in direct contact with Dana or Jeff. I've given them a direct number and they've been able to text them. And they've been able to help you. These people, they go out of their way to help us. And, you know, they're the backbone of keeping people healthy in our program. So take advantage of it, guys. If something doesn't feel right, especially now, take advantage of it. Okay. Yeah, Gary.
Quick question about the faster workout. Is it the middle part?
Yeah.
Is that 2 miles or 3 miles? I thought I saw two different on descriptions. Like when I would toggle on it, it might say 3 miles with 3 hard, 1
Yeah,
off.
there's been a few workouts where I have dropped the ball between my calendar and training. So if that is a good question. Let me look at it on here.
It says 2 miles.
Yeah, it's, see this,
See, but
it
in the
says,
description, it says
you're right, on here it says 3 miles. Yeah, I revised the workout, but didn't change the description inside the box of the,
Okay.
it's 2 miles. I have to
2.
change this in here. It's my fault.
Okay.
Sorry.
All
It's
right.
it's right on this, because this
Right.
is what I base everything off my the calendar I have online. And then I move it over to training tilt, but obviously I I put 3 miles on there. No, it's just 2.
Okay.
I need you to keep, I want you to be walking for the Thursday workout. So that would be, it's already a pretty big workout.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, 2 miles. Good question though. I'll fix those. That's a good catch. I've done that a couple times, by the way. I would have noticed. I've caught a couple of them too myself. But thank you. Thanks for pointing that out. I appreciate it. Anyone else? That's a good catch. Make sure you point those out. I don't want people doing the wrong things on days. We'll kill anyone. All right, guys. All right, so I think our next meeting, I said, will be 4/4. That's Easter Sunday, so no. We're gonna miss next Sunday because that's Easter Sunday. We're gonna come back on 4/11, it says, 7:30. So 2 weeks time, we'll be back here. We'll have another meeting. This one will probably be more race oriented. Start talking about the race itself. Maybe, hopefully no more logistics, when you can get in there, things like that. The more you know before the race on what you can do, where you can warm up in this, especially this now with the 2 start lines and all the kind of restrictions going on, the more you can prepare and know before you get there, the less stress will be going on with you the morning of the race, because you already have enough stress with the race. We want to take all of the things we can take care of before the race taken care of. That's something I've always told my athletes. You have to take care of the variables you can take care of before the race. You know, you shouldn't be running around the morning of packing your bag. I always tell guys that. If you're running around trying to get your uniform in your bag, finding your spikes, looking for your spike range, looking for this, looking for that, you've done it wrong. You need to have everything ready, take care of those variables, days before. And that's what the next meeting is going to be kind of about. We're going to start talking about all those variables, things you're going to want to take care of leading into the week of the marathon. And then the reason why I thought we'd have a meeting midweek in the marathon, like I said, 4/21, because the last week, you see on the training plan, the workout still has Tuesday, Thursdays. But if you have a PDF of the plan, you can't see my little asterisk. But if I showed you the PDFs of them, I have an asterisk. Those workouts are going to move to Monday, Wednesday, the last week. For you, it's not a big deal because you're training remotely anyways. But I'm going to get into it on the 11th. We're going to move your workouts to Monday, Wednesday for the last week, so you get an extra day of rest in there. So you're done with all, anything hard, so to speak, is done by Wednesday. That gives you Thursday, that gives you Friday, that gives you Saturday to get those legs nice and ready to go for Sunday's race. So we'll probably go, Monday tracker tempo, then Wednesday tracker tempo, whatever fits into your schedule. It doesn't matter. They're both pretty light workouts, so it doesn't matter what you do. But we'll move them to Monday and Wednesday. And that's part of the reason is to start taking care of those variables. And that's why I wanted to have a meeting on the 21st, because that'll be the day at the end of the last hard run. So then we can start, now we can say, is everyone all right? Any last minute questions? Check in one more time. If not, you're on cruise control to the race. This is where you start getting the mind right, okay? And that's what we'll start talking about that the 11th, then we'll come back on the 21st and check in again and make sure everyone is hopefully getting de-stressed as much as possible. These are stressful events. They can be. Marathon especially can be taxing on your mind. Just preparing for it itself, not just running it. Okay? Sound good?
Good.
All right, all. So have a good week. It's a big week. You got any questions about any of the workouts or anything coming up this week, especially this week? Let me know. I want to make sure you get this week done, right and healthy. Okay, guys? All right. All right. Good luck. And if I don't see you Saturday, I will see you next Saturday at the event or spring run. I will see you the 11th. Hopefully back in another meeting. All right. All right, gang. Have a good weekend. Have a good Easter. We'll see you.
All right. Thanks, Bob.
See you guys.